famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. If y'all could just hear the stories off mic, y'all would just be amazed. World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. Well, it started coming down light. Now, Bob, it looks like nighttime out there. The rain's getting harder. You hear the thunder coming in with the lightning. We got a big band of that red stuff coming across the radar right now. And up until about midday, we still have this 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms, kind of like we did yesterday. But after 12, the weather will get better as the day goes along, and then a beautiful weekend.
That goes big championship games tonight.
Yeah, it'll be
at the
fine.
Ballpark, so
yeah,
the kids are looking forward to that.
It'll be fine. But before I do that, I want to. I mentioned on the air yesterday the fact that maybe some people don't register to vote, so they don't have to get a jury summons. Well, I was informed by an expert yesterday who said, no, that's not how it's done, that a jury summons come from having a driver's license, DMV, not from voter registration. So if you're not registered to vote because you don't want to serve on a jury, don't worry about that. They don't pull from that. They pull from the DMV.
Gotcha.
Or what is it, DMS today? Do you know, Nick?
The DDS.
Yeah.
From the DDS list.
DDS, that's that. It's called DDS now. DDS. All right. So Bob introduced our guest this morning.
We got new city manager Nick Ellis. He's been on the job a couple of months now. We interviewed you when you got the job. I appreciate that. But a lot going on, so I just thought it'd be nice to get you in here to address some of the things. I mean, it was a lot of topics discussed at the last city meeting. Let's start with the pool. I mean, it's something that's been in the works. It's going to be another nice addition to Crack Williams. The city commissioners decided that they wanted to bring the pool back. Bill Harvey, I know, has been on board since day one. Talk about the pool. Again, people need to understand this isn't a competition pool. This is just a pool that, well, I'll let you describe it all the way. And how much did it cost and when is it going to be finalized? And they were advertising right now for lifeguards. So tell us about the pool.
So good morning, Butch and Bob. Thank y'all for having me on this morning. I first want to, thank the city commissioners for giving me this opportunity to serve in this position. Been with the city since 2010. Started in as a basic police officer. Went through the police academy. Worked my way up through the rank structure, and in the middle of shift one night, I had the opportunity to be appointed as interim manager, and came in January 5th.
I told you.
And
you didn't believe me, but
no, I didn't. I was shocked.
I mean, I saw you in the chamber event. I said, "You ready to be the city manager?" You said, "What?" I said, "Well, they're fixing the porches."
Well,
right.
And so I hit the ground running. Came in with the mayor the next day at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've been here since. April 2nd, I was fortunate enough to receive the full-time position, and we are 1 month in on full-time. And so one of the projects that was very important to the commission and has become very important to me is the pool. That's a project that I am grateful to see happen. I was not a part of, the pre-planning and the work that was done, but I have been a part of, making sure that the project gets complete. One of our public works maintenance supervisors, Mr. David Bohannon, has taken on that construction project. David has, a number of years in construction and building in the city commission, and my predecessor put him over that project. He's done a great job working with United Pools to make sure that they meet the city's needs in that project. One of the things that has not happened, and I know a lot of community members have been, concerned about this, is not a competition pool. This is more for the recreation and leisure. I think there's some abilities to be able to provide some practice lanes in there for, our swim teams, both recreation and high school, until the county gets, their plans up and going. And so I think that we can accommodate some practicing. There's a heater that's going to be put in there. So we'll be able to do some things, but it just won't be ready for competition. What it will offer is an opportunity for us to, have the public to use the pool. Monday through Saturday is our plans right now. We're looking to be in the pool the first day on June the 3rd. We are in the process right now of accepting applications for lifeguards, and we're looking for candidates anywhere as young as 16 years or older. We're really looking to attract some college kids who are coming home for the summer, and we want to also get some of our high school kids so that we can start building, for a future. We are planning to, run that pool as long as we can run it. I can say this, I spent a lot of summers there at that pool. I was a lifeguard both at Cracker Williams and at the old Hall Richardson pool. Had the opportunity to serve under Steve Card when he was recreation director, and did a lot of great things with swim meets and different things. And so I have a lot of experience to bring to the table and helping oversee that operation and making sure that we do it the right way.
How deep is the pool?
Yeah,
So we're right now, the entry side is going to, be a more of a splash pad model when you enter into where the old 3 feet used to be, and then it'll step down to about 3 foot there. And then it'll go down to 4 foot where the old platforms used to be at,
Right,
and then the old deep end goes to about 5.5.
Okay, so a lot of it's 4 to 5.5.
Yes.
Basically a swimming, just going there and swimming.
No diving board, right?
No diving board.
It's not deep enough for diving board.
No, sir.
Is there going to be a splash pad though?
When you first walk into the pool where the old entrance is, where they used to have the old bleachers, there will be an area where there is more like a splash pad. It'll have some sprouts coming up. We'll have some chairs there for mommies to sit with their young kids, and they'll be able to splash around and
Great place for the toddlers.
Yeah, for the toddlers. And then once you step down about 3 flights of stairs, then that's where you'll be able to enter in the pool.
I know they got the fence up, and they talked about the cost of entry to the pool. They haven't decided on that. That's still to come, right?
We are currently researching what's the fees around us. We've talked with Appleton County, we've talked with Waycross, we've talked with Savannah, St. Simons, and so we're looking at that. We're also pulling information from those pools on the rules and different things that they have in place, so that we can really try to stay in sync with what's going on around us, and also so that we can be competitive in paying our lifeguards. Because one of the things I learned since our pool shut down, we had a number of young kids who were leaving Jesup and driving over to St. Simons or Jekyll to work at the Summer Waves Park to be lifeguards. And so I'm working really hard trying to make sure that we are competitive enough to keep those individuals home, and so they don't have to drive 40 miles to work. They can work here and be able to make a decent wage.
All right, Nick Ellis, Jesup City Manager. Our special guest this morning on the world famous Butch and Bob Show.
The biggest item Tuesday night, of course, was the East Jesup Sewer Project. This is a huge project, helps with the industrial park. They talked about how it's ballooned from $9 million when it was first proposed up to 20. The bids came in at $22 and $29 million. The city commissioner decided to reject both those bids and try to look for ways to save money in-house. We got some talented people work for the city of Jesup. Tell people all the time, the city and the county are both blessed to have people like Bill Schuman and Elton Aswell.
Yes.
I don't know what happens when those people no longer do their jobs, but
it's going to be very interesting when Mr. Elton and Mr. Bill decide to hang it up.
Those guys really know their stuff, and they're very valuable to both the county and city. But he was there last night. But talk about, the project's not. It's just been put on hold. It's still
the project
is very
is
vital to the city and to the industrial park, and they're on board. So, how do you think you're going to save money?
When I came in, this was another big project that was already on the way. And I've talked with Mr. Dale Keefe to make sure that he understands I'm committed to making sure that we get our new Wayne Commerce Center open and up and running. But I did have to look into this project from a budget standpoint to see what the city could afford and call our department heads back. Bill Schuman's been very instrumental and involved in this position since the onset of it. But some of the people who were not are, our wastewater supervisor, Mr. Patrick Martin, and our water supervisor, Mr. Anthony Crawford. I brought them back to the table, and I've been working with our department heads to really talk about some of the things that we can do internally to really kind of save on the cost before we contract or bid these projects out. These guys brought back some information that said, we need to do this project. East Jesup Sewer, which connects the federal prison all the way down 301 back to the treatment plant. That line has been damaged for a number of years, and we need to make sure that we get that line restored and brought back up to standards before we add in the new commerce. And so what we looked at is we had a lot of water infiltration. Some of the manholes and service lines needed to be repaired, which are part of this project for the cost of overall. And so we started thinking about, what things that we could do internally and talking about what we could afford. I know on the onset, the project was estimated around $9 million inflation, of course, when you start bidding these projects out with, and looking at these companies who are competing, they're competing for what they need as well. And so taking into consideration, it reached to a level, we were told right before the bid went out that it was going to be around $22 million. We had one bid come in around 22 and the other one come in around 25. And our options as a city is to take the money that we already have, that we've got through ARPA, that we have already set aside through our strategic partners such as the IDA, and then we would use that money and then have to look at other grants or possibly another GFA loan to do that. And so we've explored all those options and looked at all of those things. But one of the things that we said is let our guys internally go back and see what we can rectify internally to save, and then let's rebid out this project to include connecting the new Commerce Center to the East Jesup sewer.
Is the county pitching in at all?
Right now, I'm not really sure what their partnership has been. I do know that they have done, again, some in-kind work. They've been out on the the new Commerce Center. They've been doing different projects out there on their own, but I'm not sure what their involvement has been as far as pitching into this overall budget. I know that there is some much needed conversation, and the mayor and I and those who work on the Water Services and Infrastructure Committee with me have agreed that we do need to sit down and talk with the county to see what their opportunities are for partnering with this, because again, this is not just a city project, this is a Wayne County project. The city's in the county, and we want to do our parts to make sure that we get the water and sewer ran to this, but we ultimately feel that everybody should be meeting to the table to help this project move forward.
I know they postponed for 60 days, but is there a date where they're hoping to have the project completed?
Well, we are expected to have some preliminary parts of this project started and moving by October of this year. So this 60-day window is going to give us an opportunity to take our department heads and our city engineer and look at all of our different things that we need to fix and address that we can do through our general fund, and making sure that whenever we get ready to bid this project back out, that we're going to be able to address things that we can address to make sure that we can connect all those pipes and all of that underground infrastructure.
If you just joined us, Nick Ellis, City Manager, and you all had the retreat, and one topic before you went on the retreat was a hot topic was these food trucks. So
yes,
I know it's talked again on Tuesday night at the meeting. You stated that you thought the city charter right now that addresses food truck is a good ordinance,
yes,
but the fee structure needs to be kind of adjusted because the concern Tuesday night by commissioners was, if you have a business that you spend all this money with water and sewer and you build a building, it's not fair for a food truck to just park across the street and just, So talk about how they're going to address that.
And as I've said the other night, the ordinance and the charter is written, I really support that work. Because I do want to protect our local businesses, and I want everybody who has an opportunity to invest or receive funds from this need to have skin in the game. These local business owners put a lot of work in their buildings. They put a lot of work into providing jobs for this community, and so just like any of those businesses, when you add on a business any type of way, shape, form, or fashion, you need to have skin in the game and do your part to make sure that the city and the county also has an opportunity to receive proceeds from your business because you're utilizing services inside of our city, and we're required to provide you with different services. Electricity, you got to hook up to. Some of those food trucks are going to need water and different things, and so just like the business owners, they also have to have skin in the game. What I did look at, throughout some of the research I've done through the other cities, is some of the fees in different cities are a little different. And so I'm looking at opportunities for us to reduce some fees and to maybe put some language in the ordinance and in to the procedures that will address, a one-day special event. A one-day special event to me is something like a birthday party, or they're having a festival for the kids, or doing something of that nature. Those people are there to provide a service for that one day. They're not looking to be there for a long period of time. So I want to be able to accommodate them for that one day. But if they do want to, do it for a long period of time and they want to be here all week to set up, then they need to fall in line with the procedures and the fees that are in line. Because I think those fees are, in my opinion, after I've reviewed them, are compatible to the work that the business owners would be contributing to the city's overall tax base and business licenses fees.
And another thing the city is talking about is hiring a full-time DDA position. I know the position has been part-time, it's been full-time, they've gone back and forth, but these commissioners that are on board now emphasized they thought it was more important to have a full-time person, but if they're not working all DDA, they'd be assisting the city. So explain how this is going to work.
So having this position back to a full-time position, I think, is going to really benefit us all. We do need somebody focusing on our downtown. We need somebody focusing on the life and the projects of the city, to the beautification, all the things that go on, bringing back our Arch Fest, and other festivals, or even incorporating some new things like maybe having a downtown First Friday. I know when the Christmas season is up and running, a lot of those businesses have sales, and we want our DDA director to be involved in making sure that we're advertising, helping those businesses and promoting our downtown, but not just promoting the downtown. We want them to make sure that they're promoting the entire city. And so when they are, not focused on downtown projects for, that season, we will be having them focus on other city projects and partnering with the tourism, partnering with the Wayne County Chamber, and whatever organizations throughout this community that we'll be having. They will be our liaison to make sure that the city has a seat at the table and that we're providing that assistance to those organizations who are looking to, really highlight our city. One of the things that they also will be doing is working in the general administration with me on innovative solutions. We have a lot of things going on throughout the city, and the city has been in a good place, but there are some areas where we can improve with our technology, making sure that we are enhancing our services and getting out of the things that we've done for so long, but finding innovative ways to improve our services to make sure that we provide quality services for the citizens of Jesup.
And just joining us, City Manager Nick Ellison. Another topic I want to discuss is the budget. The budget runs from July to July.
Yes,
so
sir.
There's Tuesday night they were talking about we need to have budget discussions, need to go over the budget. So what is the city budget right now?
So we're right now we're about $14 million.
$14 million.
Now that's not including capital projects or SPLOST, and so we haven't gotten to that place. What we started after the retreat is we've had the department heads to provide us with the things that they are going to be requesting throughout the budget. We formed a finance and budget committee, which consists of two commissioners and the mayor, the city clerk, the assistant city clerk, and myself, who is now taking the opportunity to look through the budget, making sure that we're not, exceeding areas that we don't need to exceed, or if we're adding new things that, we're bringing to the council some justifications for things that we got. Of course, products and different things have gone up, so there are going to be increases throughout the budget. But we've also got to make sure that we don't exceed our revenues, because then we would have to go into our fund balance or determine what other services would be cut to provide these things. Public safety is top priority. I think we got to make sure that we have the necessary tools and things we need for our fire and our police. And so, we've got to get things for them to be able to function and provide, the safety not only to what our city police do inside of the city limits, but our fire department provides full fire service to this entire county. And so I've got to make sure that I equip those guys. Along with equipping them, we've talked about making sure that they get some suitable living quarters and upgrading their stations. And so that's going to all be included into this upcoming budget.
And speaking of money, they had talked at the Tuesday night. There was a topic about CD renewals, looking for the best interest.
Yes.
Tell us about that. What
So
are they trying
right
to do?
now,
They have two different CDs. Is that correct?
we have two different CDs. They're currently at First Horizon, and so they're up, for renewal, and they mature, I think, somewhere around May the 20th. Again, that was done before I got here, so my opportunity now is to work with our city clerk, treasurer, Ms. Rhonda Tillman, to figure out what's the best place. The council has given us direction that they would like for us to do some shopping around, and I believe that's the best thing to do. See what's out here, check out the rates, see what we could get for, that's going to be for the best of the city overall, but also if we can have a local bank to receive that opportunity to do that. Again, locally, we want to make sure that we support our businesses in inside of the city.
And there's millions of dollars in these CDs, right? Because they've talked about a percentage, half a percentage.
Yes.
It means a bunch of money.
Yes, it's 4 million total. So one CD has 2 million, and then one CD has 2 million. So and then of course we have some other things like they put the SPLOS fire truck amount into a CD as well. Again, we're waiting for that opportunity to have that discussion about how that purchase is going to play. And that work is work that I inherited, and so I'm working through that with the commissioners and the fire chief now to determine what's going to be the most feasible things that we need to do with that money that's been set aside.
And recently the city and the county got together and discussed contracts. How do you think those conversations went? And where do we stand on the contract?
For my first opportunity to sit inside of a conversation around our contracts and discussing, the loss, I thought overall it went good. Our commissioners, Commissioner Deal, Commissioner Cockfield, and our mayor all have served at the county side, and so they've seen both sides of this work. From the city and the county side. And I think that they bring a wealth of knowledge to the table to make sure that us new people on at the table now, such as me and County Administrator Paul Drawdy, they helped us really enlighten why these things were done, how they were put into play, and where we are now. Unfortunately, the last negotiations and the last decisions were made by two of the previous county administrator, previous city manager. So we're kind of in a place now where those contracts and things are in play. As we look through the next 8 to 9 years, there's opportunities for us to renegotiate. But right now, we are utilizing what has been established by, again, the former county administrator and the former city manager and that group that worked with them on those contracts at that time.
Another topic I want to talk to you about under items of city manager, you brought up this topic about a youth council pilot programs. Tell us about that and how that's going to work.
So GMA, Georgia Municipal Association, has really been highlighting on the need for growing youth leaders and helping kids become more understanding of the services and the programs that are provided through the cities throughout the entire state. And so we have an opportunity to start a program. Prior to me leaving the police department, we were going to start a summer program with the administration and command staff there that was really going to be focused on the police department. But I've had an opportunity to talk to them about how could the whole city benefit from this program. And so we're going to adopt some things from what they're doing in Brunswick, some things of what they're doing in Hinesville, which is a combination of both programs that has a public safety focus. So it wouldn't just be focusing on the fire department or the police department, but all of our city departments. And our goal this year is to do a pilot program with about 14 kids. We're going to allow the commission and our SROs to nominate those kids to get this program. But it's going to be driven around, again, most ways to direct, engage our youth leaders in the community, educating them on the roles and responsibilities of cities, teaching leadership skills and teaching youth-led service projects, and really teaching about the functions of the council and the mayor, the office of the city manager. And they'll have an opportunity, and right now our preliminary plans is we're going to engage these kids 2 times a week for a 4-week period. We've got some command staff members, some of our city hall staff, and we're also going to be utilizing some of our college kids. One specifically, Greg Frazier, who is at West Point. He will be home for some of those weeks, and so he's going to be helping us with some of the leadership components and making sure that he shares his story and testaments as a youth leader for the top nation's military service academy. We're grateful to have him to be able to partner with us and to help us put this program off of the ground.
How are we doing time-wise?
We're past time.
Past time. Okay,
Way
I'm
past.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay, though. We didn't start until late.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Like I said, we'll get you in again, but like I said, those are some of the key topics that I want to talk about.
Yes,
What's going on in the city, a lot going on, but wish you the best of luck. And
yes,
again, congrats again on being named full-time city manager.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. And anytime
you missed the
we
police
can
department
come,
at all?
I missed the police department just a little bit. I do not miss being on call. I do not miss having to get out when the crime rises and coming up with strategic plans for that. But I am there to help and aid them. And the council was fortunate enough to allow me to not only just serve as city manager, but they allowed me to keep my powers of arrest and giving me an additional title as public safety director. And so I'm working with Major Reddish and Chief Chris Hamilton on some strategic planning projects and different things that we're doing to make sure that we keep the police department moving in a good direction. But I'm glad to be gone a little bit. But you know, I've done it, and that's what I do. So I appreciate the time. I just want to make sure that everybody knows the city is working to try to, you know, move from where we were. And our goal and vision right now is driven by progress and unity. The city of Jesup commits to fostering growth and enhancing the quality of life for everyone in the community. We envision a future of planned and sustainable growth, ensuring a thriving and inclusive city for generations to come. So whatever we can do, we're here to help.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for coming in. City Manager Nick Ellis, our special guest, aboard of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO, brought to you by First Southern Bank, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn & Associates.